Happiness has three components: enjoyment, satisfaction, and meaning. And in the enjoyment, it's divided into pleasure, appreciation, and knowledge. Pleasure is sort of happiness in the moment. If you like skiing down the slope of a mountain brings you pleasure. Appreciation and knowledge are more of a long-term form, and it requires some baseline knowledge. If you like classical music and you study classical music, going to a performance, you can reflect back on it and compare what you saw. If you go to a museum, I like physics, so going to lectures of physics for lay people to me adds to my knowledge. So that's a way of bringing more enjoyment. The reason I show this to you is that there are multiple ways you can increase your happiness. You can say, okay, I'm going to go skiing more. I'm going to go to the museums more. You can also increase your satisfaction component of happiness by changing what you have or what you want. I was a physician in private practice, and then I became an employed physician for the last 3 years of my career, and I became miserable. I felt like the system made it impossible for me to take care of patients in a way that met my own professional standards. And as a result, I was depressed, I was anxious, I was emotionally labile. My wife kept telling me, you should quit your job, you should quit your job. And it's like, no, this is important work, I got to keep doing it. Anyway, I went on an REI trip to Alaska, a place called Wrangell St. Elias National Park. I hike up to the top of a mountain ridge, and I turn around and look down the valley. There's this glacial river that we just hiked up, sort of encased in greenery and wildflowers. It was beautiful. You've got the mountain valley, granite, to snow-covered hillsides, and on top it's glaciers, and you can see for 50 miles there was a blue sky. It was gorgeous. I had what I call a moment of cognitive clarity. I turned around and looked and saw this magnificence, and something went off in my brain, and I turned to the person next to me and said, I'm going to quit my job. I got back to my one-man tent and dictated a letter to my hospital saying, I'm done. And so basically, I changed what I wanted. I'd always wanted to be a physician. I just changed it, and my satisfaction went up. So you can improve your happiness by doing these other things. So you can use conscious thoughts to make adverse stimuli coming into your body have less of an adverse impact on you. It led to multiple psychological strategies. And basically, you do these daily exercises, the brain can be retrained. Just like if you use a muscle a lot, you can make the muscle bigger. You can train your brain so that the signal comes in has a bigger positive impact on causing more happiness or less unhappiness. I don't have enough knowledge to explain to you how to do that. If we were to look at happiness over a lifetime, in the US, we have confounding variables. Everything has confounding variables, but the US, the confounding variables for the happiness curve, the things that impacted the most are education, marriage, and employment. When they subtract out the effects of education, marriage, and employment in the US, you get this U-shaped happiness curve. Happy young, less happy middle age, more happy at the end of life. This is part of our biology, this happiness curve. So the last thing we're going to add to this strategic retirement plan is hack your brain to augment happiness. So what do I do to hack my brain to augment happiness? I do stuff for the pleasure, which is my cycling, appreciation, knowledge. I do that.